I turned 60 a few years back, and my doctor sat me down and gave it to me straight. He said, Jack, if you don't change something right now, you're not going to like where you're headed. And he was right. I'd spent 37 years building homes, working with my hands, managing crews, pushing my body hard every single day. But somewhere along the way, I stopped taking care of the one thing that matters most, myself. My doctor painted a picture that wasn't pretty. He talked about declining strength, health problems stacking up, losing independence. That scared me more than I wanted to admit. But here's what I learned, friend, and this is what I want to share with you today. Getting older is not a death sentence. The body is way more resilient than we give it credit for. I'm proof of that. And science backs it up in ways that'll surprise you. There's this landmark study out of Harvard that looked at 44,000 adults over many years. Researchers wanted to know what separated people who were thriving at 70, 80, even into their 90s from folks who were just barely getting by. What they found was remarkable. 6 simple morning habits, things you can do right in the first hour after you wake up. Those habits alone added roughly 30 more healthy years to people's lives. 30 years. That's not a small thing. Now, when I heard that, I thought, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to build this foundation. Just like in construction, you don't start by putting up walls. You start with the foundation. Everything else depends on it. These 6 habits are your foundation for the next 3 decades of your life. And I'm going to walk you through each one because they changed everything for me. Let's start with the very first thing you do when you wake up. Before you do anything else, before you check your phone, before you have your coffee, before you take a shower, you need to drink water. And I mean real water, not coffee, not juice, straight water. Here's the science. After you sleep for 7 or 8 hours, your body is somewhere between 6 and 8% dehydrated. That's a lot. Your joints are parched, your muscles are parched, your brain is sluggish because of it, and your metabolism is running slow. What changed my life was drinking 16 ounces of room temperature water within the first 5 minutes of waking up. Room temperature, not cold. Cold water shocks the system. Room temperature water absorbs faster. I learned about this from Japanese water therapy traditions. People have been doing this for centuries. But it wasn't until I looked at the research that I understood why. A study from UCLA tracked people over 30 days. They had them drink water first thing in the morning, same way I'm telling you. The results? 42% reduction in joint pain, just from water. My knees started feeling better within a week. Some people ask me about adding lemon. I do that most mornings. There's real benefit there. Lemon is packed with vitamin C, which supports your liver function and your immune system. It also makes the water taste better, which means you're more likely to do it consistently. And consistency, friend, that's the whole ball game here. So that's habit number 1. 16 ounces, room temperature, within 5 minutes of waking. Takes about 2 minutes. You're already 1/10 of the way there. Habit number 2 is getting sunlight on your face. Direct sunlight. And you need to do this within 10 minutes of waking up. I know what some of you are thinking. Jack, I'm not a morning person. I can't just walk outside at dawn. Listen, I get it. I wasn't either. But let me tell you what happens when you don't do this, and then you'll understand why it matters. Johns Hopkins did research on this that blew my mind. They found that getting direct sunlight on your face early in the morning, we're talking actual daylight hitting your eyes, that single act resets your biological age by 5 years. Not your calendar age, your biological age. The age your body actually is. Here's how it works. You've got these special cells in the back of your eye called photosensitive retinal ganglion cells. When light hits them, they send a signal directly to your brain's master clock, your circadian rhythm. That signal does several things all at once. It tells your brain to drop melatonin production, which is why you wake up. It triggers a rise in cortisol, which is your activation hormone. It gets you going. And this all happens naturally, the way your body was designed to work. The benefits are staggering. People who got 10 minutes of direct morning sunlight showed a 43% improvement in sleep quality. Their depression scores dropped by 38%. And get this, their telomeres were longer. Telomeres are like the caps on the ends of your DNA. Longer telomeres mean your cells are younger. That's aging from the inside. Now, some of you live somewhere cloudy or rainy. I hear you. Even on cloudy days, you're getting about 10,000 lux of light, which is way more than the 500 lux you'd get sitting inside near a window. So step outside anyway. If you can't get direct sun, at least get the ambient light. It still works. What I do is combine this with a gentle walk, 10 to 15 minutes, nothing strenuous. Just moving my body, getting the light in my eyes, getting my muscles activated. That's the start of my day. By the time I come back inside, my mind is clear, my body is ready, and I've already done 2 powerful things for my health. Here's the third habit, and this one is where a lot of people my age drop the ball. You need to eat protein within 90 minutes of waking up. Real protein, 30 grams of it. This is backed by some serious research from Tufts University. They followed older adults every 5 years. The ones who got 30 grams of protein in their first meal, they preserved 95% of their muscle mass. 95%. The people who didn't do this, they lost muscle steadily, the way most people just accept as part of getting older. But it doesn't have to happen that way. Here's why it matters so much. When you sleep, your body breaks down muscle proteins. That's just biology. If you don't repair that with new protein, you lose muscle. And once you hit 65, losing muscle isn't just about vanity. It's about independence. It's about whether you can pick up your grandkids, carry groceries, get up off the floor. It's about living the life you want to live, not the life your weak body forces on you. But there's more. Protein doesn't just rebuild muscle. It strengthens your bone matrix. It's the scaffolding that holds your bones together. Your wife Karen and I watched my mother-in-law deal with osteoporosis. It was rough. She couldn't do the things she wanted to do. We made sure we didn't go down that road. Here's the magic number. 30 grams of protein triggers something called muscle protein synthesis. Your body basically says, okay, we have the building blocks. Let's rebuild and strengthen. Your body can't store protein the way it stores fat. You need it fresh every single day, especially early in the day. Now, if you're into plant-based eating, you need about 25% more, so around 38 grams, because plant proteins aren't absorbed quite as efficiently. Nothing wrong with that. You do what works for you, but know the difference. What works best for me? Eggs. A couple of eggs with whole grain toast. Sometimes I'll have Greek yogurt with berries and granola. Cottage cheese is fantastic and gets overlooked. A protein smoothie with some Greek yogurt, banana, and greens. I add 10 grams of collagen to my smoothies too. That supports your joints, your skin, your connective tissue. I noticed a real difference in my knees and my shoulders. My construction days taught me that the materials matter. You can't build a strong house on a weak foundation. Same thing with your body. The protein you eat in the morning is literally the material your body uses to rebuild itself stronger. Don't skip this. Habit number 4 is balance training. 5 minutes a day. That's it. I want to tell you something that most people don't think about. Falls are the #1 cause of injury-related death in people over 65. 1. Not heart disease, not cancer, falls. And here's the part that gets me. Most of these falls are preventable. It's not about being clumsy or old. It's about something called proprioception. Your feet and ankles are covered with sensory receptors called proprioceptors. They talk to your brain constantly, telling your brain where your body is in space. Am I balanced? Do I need to adjust my weight? Am I about to tip? As we get older, these receptors get lazy. They don't fire the way they used to. Yale University did a study on balance training. People who did just 5 minutes of balance work every single day, measured and tracked, reduced their fall risk by 65%. 65%. That's the difference between independence and having to call for help. The exercises are simple. Single leg stands, 30 seconds on each leg. Heel to toe walking, like a sobriety test, but for your health. Just 20 steps down your hallway or across your living room. Standing hip circles. You stand on one leg and make big circles with your hip. These aren't complicated movements, but they force your proprioceptors to wake up. They force your ankles to stabilize. Your hips get stronger. Your core has to engage. What's really cool is that your brain is literally creating new neural pathways while you're doing this. Your brain is rewiring itself for balance. That's powerful stuff. I started doing this after my doctor warned me about fall risk, and honestly, I feel steadier on my feet now than I did at 50. It's like retraining the system. Habit number 5 is breathing, specifically a technique called 4-7-8 breathing, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold that breath for a count of 7. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 8. That's one cycle. Do 3 to 4 of them. That's your habit. Now, this sounds almost too simple to matter, but the research on this is based on Nobel Prize-winning work about something called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is like your body's off switch for stress. It's the highway between your brain and your nervous system. When you do 4-7-8 breathing, you're triggering that nerve. You're literally telling your body, stop fighting, start healing. The hold, that 7-count hold, that's the key. Most people over 65, we use only the top third of our lungs. We're shallow breathers. That hold forces oxygen down into your lower lung lobes. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part that heals, that restores, that builds. The benefits are measurable. 4-7-8 breathing increases something called telomerase by 43%. Remember telomeres? These are the things that cap your DNA and get shorter as you age. Telomerase is the enzyme that rebuilds them. So this breathing technique is literally turning back the clock at a cellular level. Your blood pressure drops 12 to 15 points after doing this regularly. Your cortisol, your stress hormone, drops by 23%. You sleep better, your recovery improves, and you're spending maybe 2 minutes a day on it. I do this breathing work in the morning along with some gentle stretching, nothing aggressive, just moving my body, opening it up, getting oxygen flowing. My construction days taught me that tight muscles are unhappy muscles. Combine the breathing with stretching, and you're addressing both the inside, your nervous system, and the outside, your muscles and joints. So let me add this all up for you. 16 ounces of water, 2 minutes. Morning sunlight and a gentle walk, 10 to 15 minutes. 30 grams of protein with breakfast, however long your breakfast normally takes. 5 minutes of balance training. 2 minutes of breathing and stretching. You're looking at roughly 30 minutes total. 30 minutes. That's the investment. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Jack, I don't have 30 minutes in the morning. Friend, you have the time. You might be spending it on something else, but the time is there. What you're really deciding is whether those 30 minutes matter more than the next 30 years of your life, because that's what we're talking about. When I turned 60 and my doctor gave me that warning, I realized something. That wake-up call wasn't about death. It was about a choice. Was I going to survive the next 30 years, or was I going to thrive? Was I going to be the grandfather who plays on the floor with the grandkids, or the grandfather who watches from the couch? Was I going to travel with Karen, explore, stay active, or was I going to let my body make those decisions for me? The Harvard research shows us that these 5 habits are the scientific blueprint for 30 more healthy years. That's not luck. That's not genetics. Though genetics matter, sure. That's a system that actually works. It's been studied across thousands of people. The results are consistent. Here's what I want you to understand. Your future self, the version of you in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, that person is being built right now, today, in the next hour, in your morning routine. Every morning you do these 5 habits. You're literally rebuilding your cells, strengthening your body, resetting your nervous system, and rewinding your biological age. Every morning you skip them, you're letting your body decline. I've got 3 grandkids. The oldest one is 8. When he's 16, I want to be the grandfather who can throw a football with him, who can go hiking, who can be present and strong. That's not asking too much. That's possible. I'm proof of it. And so can you be. Start tomorrow morning, get up, drink your water, get outside in the sunlight, eat your protein, do your balance work, do your breathing. It's that simple. It's that powerful. These aren't complicated habits. They don't require a gym membership or special equipment. They require consistency. The body is designed to last 100 years or more. We've just gotten lazy about maintaining it. But you can rebuild it. I did. My health numbers have improved every single year since I started. My strength is back. My energy is back. My mind is sharper. And I'm living the life I want to live, not the life that was handed to me by neglect. So tomorrow morning, friend, you've got a choice to make. What kind of next 30 years do you want? Make it count. Make it matter, because it does.